So what's the difference between jail and prison? Because a lot of people don't actually know the difference. And before anyone says anything, I'm aware that I have mixed this up on occasion, slip of the tongue. When I catch it, I will, instead of like going back and totally re-editing the video, I'll like add something right around like where I said, or I said, I know I said prison, I mean jail, or I know I said jail, I meant prison. I will correct myself like in like words on the screen, or sometimes I will go ahead and I will make correction videos saying, hey, I messed up, like this is what happened. That's if I notice it after posting. All right, so jails are local facilities. Those are where you go if you have to, stay somewhere and, you can't bail out until first appearance. You go to jail to wait to appear in front of a judge. Think of situations where like you're out, real late one night, you're out at a bar with some friends and you get into a bar fight. You started it, you messed up the other guy. The police are arresting you. You're going to jail until like the next morning or maybe 2 days after, depending on what day of the week it was, where you appear in front of a judge for a hearing and then you can bond out after. You will also stay in jail if you can't, bond out after a first hearing and you are waiting for your trial, or if you're going through your trial. They're locally owned and operated, and they generally don't have like the craziest high security measures. The other thing about jail is some people do end up in jail. They're staying there if they have a minor charge and their sentence is only about a year or so long. Sometimes you may serve out that year-long sentence in a jail. The trade-off for that is a lot of jails don't tend to have like the most resources, classes, different therapies, just like different opportunities to enrich your life while you are in prison, while you are in jail. See, I almost got it there. I caught myself. And then like just ways to, help you pass your time, live a more comfortable life, rehabilitate, get educated, all those sorts of things. You don't have as many of those opportunities generally in a jail. Then you have prison. Prison is where you go if you have a much larger charge, if it's more serious. Prison is where you go after you have been convicted. Prison, like, that's where you're spending your time. They can be locally owned and operated, like a county jail. They can be owned and operated by the state. If it's a federal charge, they can also be owned and operated by the federal government. And then there's the private prison sector where, like, there's private companies that are going in and they're running all the prisons. Or not all the prisons, there's a number of them, it's some of them. Prisons, you're going to see a lot more variation in how intense the security measures are there. You can have low security prisons all the way to like the crazy supermax prisons where you got like the most fucked up people in there. And again, why this isn't always the case, we are speaking in generals. A lot of prisons will have more different resources for their inmates. So that's where you're going to find more education opportunities, more vocational training, more GED, college courses. You're going to find a lot more different therapies available to people. You're going to find different recreational options. Like you have more options of like what you're going to do with your time and how you're going to potentially rehabilitate yourself if you believe that's a thing that can happen. You're going to have more of those options in a prison as opposed to a jail because they have more of an incentive to, get you through and have stuff going on because you are there for a longer situation. You're there for a longer time. Therefore, you can do more with your time to get better.